this has no validity until he can maybe say yes or no, but with the issue of parking, he's got a beautiful parking spot. Now, I'm not sure if it will address everybody's concern, and I know we're trying to put people on foot once they get to downtown so that they can walk around and potentially walk into our business. But if parking is a huge concern, is he willing to open up his parking at Obsolete for a central parking spot? And like I say, I'm just throwing it out there because I haven't had a chance to ask him. But now we've got 40 to 50 parking spots that already are being used by people that are going to get their teeth checked, the dentist office, that are stopping to support his business. I just think that might address if we are losing 4 to 6 spots. There's an opportunity right there to gain 60, 40.
I'd just like to say my observation with Obsolete is the patrons that go there park on the street until there's no more parking on the street, then they'll use the parking lot. The parking lot seems to be a thing of last resort. And really it doesn't affect most of us, like Obsolete's crowd, because Obsolete's crowd comes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right.
And most of our day is done by then, for the most part for people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get them to park at the parking lot.
Yeah, and like we already don't have parking. Like I pay for parking for Dolphin Decorating in the back alley. Like that's the only way that me and my staff have anywhere to go, and it's $50 a spot a month. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we don't have like there's the free parking on the other side of Mary's now, but it's consistently full. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere to park it. Otherwise, you've got 2-hour parking everywhere. So if we get rid of 4 to 6 spots, where do we go?
There's a privately owned lot across the street from Willowbrook. Mm-hmm. Has there been any thought given into making that a parking space that the city can maintain and then our business?
Yeah, it got brought up as a comment a few times. I know it's privately owned and privately for sale. Mm-hmm. I think the asking price is $175,000.
Yeah, we considered buying ourselves for parking, but we just couldn't do that.
No, so that's on that note,
let's all buy it and we'll charge parking. No ticket meters.
Well, yeah. I remember before Willowbrook that parking lot those for a while. I think they charged for that or something.
Yeah,
that was a while ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel those 6 spots or 4 spots that are going are just incredibly valuable for people who actually want to go to the pet store, actually want to go to Dusty's meet. Would it be possible to just scrap the pedestrian corridor and take that money and buy the parking lot and develop it, even just as a gravel?
Sorry. So get rid of the crosswalk in the center, and then start investing in some off-street parking. That's what you said.
That'd be interesting.
I think, well, this has become really clear and loud and clear tonight. So I cannot say standing here, let's get rid of it. I think we need to discuss that, and we need a decision that needs to be made with the team. But I heard you loud and clear. So yeah, absolutely.
I'm not clear on so we have to lose our ramp as part of the plan? No.
Well, actually, and I know there's been some initial, very early conversations, and there was some thought about relocating the ramp. We want to work with you to make it as successful as possible. And just a comment on you, Dave. I can't say this as a general thing. This street is the weirdest street in Dauphin when it comes to elevation. Where we can, we are raising the level of the sidewalk to make it flush with the entrance, where we can. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying it carefully because we cannot do it with every business.
I understand.
Because of this street is just strange that way. But as part of the design is to make it the business is more accessible. So, yeah.
So on the north side, you could do that fairly comfortably.
Easier, yeah.
On the south side where we are, you're not going to do it because we all have like an 8-inch step at least in there. Yeah. But I think that we should all have the option of having a ramp put in so that we can make all our businesses wheelchair accessible. we're making the sidewalks 3 feet wider, we have people to walk up and down them. There's no reason why we couldn't have a ramp for in front of Dave's, in
Yeah,
front of my
that's a
place,
conversation.
in front of Dusty's.
Yeah.
Like I know the old City Hall building is, you know, because there's 3 or 4 steps up, you know,
Yeah, that
just
one
the
is,
design of the building doesn't work.
Yeah.
But, you know, the 5 businesses on that side of the street, we should all have that option.
And if there's a cost to the business for that type of service, as a business owner, I would definitely entertain that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because you have to put your own rent, and that's just something that is, you know, part of the doing business, but if we can work on it together, do it all at the same time, that would make sense, right? So, yeah.
Another thing we wanted to talk about from our end is during the construction phase of the project, are we all going to have access to our front entrances? Because we can't interrupt our business for that length of time.
Go ahead. I can speak on that. So part of the request for proposal that we'll be putting out, and to be clear, we haven't put it out yet. We had originally targeted Friday. However, we'll see what happens after discussions from here. Part of what we are evaluating the proponents, the people who are requesting to do this project on, is how they will allow businesses to continue their operation. So can I say for sure how they're going to do that? No. But we are requiring them to present how they are going to accommodate businesses and help them work. Will it be pain free? No. I'm not going to stand up here and lie to you guys and say it's going to be pain free, but we're going to do everything we can to help them.
What is the start projection? I thought it might have been this year, and then somebody said, no, we missed this year, it'll be next year. Is that something?
So that's largely an unknown right now. So once we put it out for request for proposals, we'll get back.
Nothing this year, right? Nothing this year.
It's in the middle of, if we could get it done this year, we likely will try to. However, we can also recognize that we're in the middle of the construction season. A lot of these companies have their summer booked up already. So potentially it could be 2027. But that's not an answer we'll have until we get the request for proposals finished.
So it will be messy, but we will make sure that you have to do your business. We actually have had separate meetings with both dental clinics on that, because for making sure that the clientele has, actually we need to keep communicating with the clientele has access the whole time because of the healthcare service that you provide. It's important. So we had discussions about using that, but it's now not. The tour is now used to be an Ashdorf site, maybe it's temporary entrance, and we'll have to. But part of the conditions of the tender is that the contractor who's taking the job is going to have to work everything.
And if that is necessary to use the vacant space in the alternate entrance, is our business going to be responsible for financing that temporary setup?
I think that's something we need to discuss. It depends on what the expenses, if there is any, what the expenses would
I
be.
just don't think it should be something that our businesses should
No,
have to take
no,
on.
I agree. I think that's something that needs to be discussed. But is it as simple as extending the walkway, but then inside the building, or does it require some structural work? That's something we'll have to discuss. And we want to engage in that conversation. That's extremely important. Yeah.
Before we move on